Hi everyone, welcome to the need4e.com channel. Today I'm going to share about one topic again about the introduction about the energy management system. Let me share my screen. So today I'd like to share with you how to achieve sustainability and business goal through energy management system. I'll share with you a strategic and systematic approach on how to improve and sustain profitability from reduced energy costs from the implementation of energy management system. This is the overview of my presentation. First, I will go through with you the overview of the what's energy efficiency and how energy efficiency applies in energy management. Then secondly, I'll share with you step by step and also the strategy in developing and implementing sustainable energy management system for your company. And finally, we look at what are key takeaways that we can take from this presentation and what's next for you to start. First of all, what's energy efficiency? Okay, normally we have to understand this basic definition. I try to make it as simple as possible for us to have something in common in terms of understanding. So first of all, we have the input, we call it energy in the form of electricity or fuel. And then we use this energy through a process where we can use equipment or we have the operation to run. So what does energy efficiency means? So energy efficiency means if we use less or the same amount of energy, we should be able to produce better output. By doing that, we are eliminating energy waste from the process or equipment that we use. This is the layman definition, means that if you use less, okay, or the same amount of energy, we must produce better output. If you use less, okay, you should produce at least similar output. Okay, if you use more same amount of energy, we should produce at least better output. Okay, so this is another standard definition. You can go ISO 2002, but I won't elaborate further on that. It's quite technical definition. Okay, what output here? Output means not only energy cost saving or energy reduction. Output for a company, it should be by being more efficient, you should maintain or increase your profitability. At the same time, you don't compromise, the other factor that required in your operation, such as comfort level, production volume, quality, safety, and so on. So it means that if you become efficient, you shouldn't compromise any of what actually required. According to your requirement, according to the energy efficient requirement. Okay, but bear in mind, by doing all that, by making using less energy, we can help to the impact of that. We can help to reduce GHG. Okay, and of course, help the country to reduce the demand for energy import, because most of our energy when it comes to energy generation are imported. And same time, next impact is that we lower our cost of living. This operation, of course, will give more benefits to the economic wide level. Bear in mind, energy management is a key element in energy efficiency. All these require management. So in this case, we talk about energy efficiency. Energy management is very important element in the energy efficiency. We look at Malaysia, where we should focus. In general, we expected to use more energy because we are still a developing country, and therefore we should focus on, as a user, we focus on the normally building and industrial sector. If you look here, building sector, use mainly electricity, and industrial sector use all type of energy from electricity, gas, and other fuel as well. So this is when we come to this presentation, we are focusing on these two, building and industrial sector. Okay, bear in mind, so in managing our energy, if we do manage our energy, it also can help us to contribute to achieve the SDG goals. In particular, goal number 12 is about responsible consumption and production. Energy management system, is the key element in adopting, is one of the key elements in adopting the sustainability practices under the goal number 12 of the SDG or Sustainable Development Goal. The key messages I want to highlight here, or the key important point okay, that we need to look into if you want to have a successful energy management. First of all, is top management commitment. You must be committed. It must come from the top. And secondly, whatever you do to manage your energy, it must be holistic, systematic, and also sustainable. And finally, you should be able to measure the results and also make the result visible so that everyone can see the impact. If you look here, if you are doing energy management system, that involve a lot of parties, a lot of level of personnel, okay, require some processes, okay, the step by step to develop the system and then to implement the system. So this will make it easier if you have a top management commitment. You do it holistically, systematically, and also sustainably. And of course, and at the end of the day, you must show and measure the result. Okay, and then along the way, along implementing an implement system, okay, along the way, you have to implement some projects or initiatives that require some budgets. Okay, you may have to invest along the way. So when it comes to investment, okay, you have to look into this. First, of course, whatever investment, technical project you want to implement to save energy costs, you must have the technical viability. Okay, must meet your own financial requirement and whatever financial sources you are going to use. And of course, along the way, you must have the sustainability plan, how you monitor the performance, through the measurement and verification of the projects. This is how I can describe what does it mean by holistic and sustainable approach to reduce energy consumption for business, energy cost for business. Okay, first of all, again, the first message just now, commitment from the top. You must be committed. Okay, and once you are committed, you have to figure out what are the implementation strategies. This is what we often do. We look into the energy efficient technologies or solution. Okay, where the solution can be, and it comes into the energy efficiency measures. This can be low cost or high cost. I can guarantee you, if you do this, you are guaranteed to save energy. Okay, the question is that, can you sustain that? Okay, because bear in mind, energy efficient equipment cannot stay efficient or perform to the maximum performance, by itself. Therefore, here we need another element in the implementation strategies, which is energy management. How we do it? By a systematic approach, by adopting certain energy management system standard or guidelines or protocol. By doing this, we can achieve the result through the solution, technology solution, or energy efficient technology or solution. At the same time, by having the management part, okay, systematically, we can help you to sustain the energy performance, okay, or at the same time achieve the cost reduction targets. So this is why we call it holistic approach. So before we move further, just quickly, okay, what is energy management? What is standard and sustainable management system? So energy management in general is all activities to ensure efficient use of energy in the organizations. It's not just the technical activities. Okay? It's beyond technical activities. It requires involvement of many parties. And to do that, normally, you must do it ongoing. It's not one-off. It's not a project. Okay? To do it ongoing, you must to refer a certain way of doing things. That's why you need to refer to a standard which offers a systematic approach, okay, for the management of energy use. I'm not talking about certification here. I'm talking about look into the standard as a guide to manage your energy source. Because this is, if talking about what's energy management system, to do it systematically, ongoing, okay? So this is where you need to have a system. Okay, system, by definition, if you look here, based on ISO 2001, it's nothing technical. Okay, it's about having the targets, having the action plan, and how you can achieve the targets. And you must do it, in sustainable way, because that's why you need to have the sustainable management system. So when you have sustainable management system, basically, you will ensure energy being used efficiently by adopting the system. And then you will achieve your desired result, and also for keep improving. And the best part of having a system, okay, you will involve the two elements in the overall organization, which is the people and the equipment. Only with systematic approach, with standard approach, okay, you can involve the two, because equipment cannot sustain a performance by itself. You need people. Okay, when you need people, you need to have some kind of system, mechanism such as SOP and so on to make sure the people running the equipment efficiently. Okay, so how does a standard, adopting a standard help companies in energy management practices? Okay, basically we provide you with the technical and management strategies, because again, management system, energy is involved two elements, technical and management, not just the technical. Okay, it's not just the equipment that will help to increase efficiency, reduce costs, and improve the environmental performance as a result of that. And provide a recognized framework, typical PDCA cycle, for example. It's common management system cycle, okay, into the management practices. And finally, you know, it's access. It can be small company, big company, doesn't matter. You can adopt the standard because it can be applied easily. And then the sequence, you know, the method is quite, you know, logical. Okay, it have to be done by step. When it comes to standard, normally we have two types of standard: management, okay, or technical standard. In Malaysia, normally we refer to ISO 2001, EnMs, EnMs. Okay, or technically, we can refer to many standards available in the world, okay, internationally, or we can refer to Malaysian standard related to energy efficiency is from 5 to 5. So I share with you some example quickly here. Some example of how companies have been successfully implementing an EnMs system based on the standard. If you look here, look at the payback period here. Okay. Normally, we're talking about adopting this EnMs system standard. We're talking about low and no cost measure. Okay, low and no cost measure. If you look here, all the payback here, you know, this municipal, the bank, okay, here, all right, hotels, factory, okay, university, factory here. Look at the payback. All are very short. Means that by adopting a systematic approach, okay, you can get things, you know, will be sustainable, and also the result is obvious. Okay, if you look here. And then in Malaysia, some case study, okay, adopting the EnMs EMGS. Okay, EnMs EMGS basically ASEAN Energy Management Scheme. Okay, but this one will have rating. ISO doesn't have rating. We look here, for example, UTM has saved 7 million, okay, in basically 3 years when it comes to electricity bill. It's proven. My point here, whichever standard you refer as a guide, it will guarantee some kind of performance. Okay, it will guarantee you the result, whichever you pick here. Okay, and talking about technical standard example, we have one of the good, very good standard in Malaysia, EnMs 1525, the recent version 2019. They covered all these elements from the design, okay, from the building envelope, lighting system, okay, power system, and also economic system and mechanical ventilation system, and also how you control the energy management control system. Okay, I share with you an example here. A plant in a company in Malaysia. How they use, okay, it's SME, okay, SMI, okay. This is I know in person the company that are running this study, okay, doing this job. Case study in Malaysia, they achieve the targets beyond what they anticipated. Okay, they want to move from old office to new office, okay, with bigger capacity, bigger area, but they want to keep the bill lower, okay, same or lower from the energy bill from the previous one. And they did some proper study. Okay, they did some data collection and start to identify where energy being used. Okay, where energy being used. So here in this example here, they know the biggest user is aircon system and lighting system. Okay, and what they did, so they look into these two elements. They focus on lighting and aircon system. So what they did basically, they look into the lighting design. Okay, they start to somehow utilize the day lighting, and they look into the more energy efficient aircon system. What they have achieved, okay, you see 40%. Initially, they targeted 40%, they achieved 45%. Okay, so if you look here, they save energy costs, they save energy consumption, they save energy costs, okay, at the same time, that doesn't compromise the outputs of the building. Okay, this is in general. Okay, if you're talking about a company who are successful, okay, in doing energy management, they have these 5 key elements. First, the awareness very high. Okay. Secondly, they have the energy management plan, short and long-term plan. And then the third one, they collect data and then analyze it and then use it, you know, to manage the energy use. Okay, and then the fourth one, they integrate, you know. Okay, the energy management is a part of the management structure, not just centralized into only one department, technical department. And finally, they have a very good leadership, either through the top management and from the energy management team that developed to implement the new system. Now, okay, let's do it. Provided once you have committed, okay, if you're committed, look into this. Okay, this is the common cycle, okay, of a typical PDCA management system cycle. I won't go one by one in detail, but if talking about energy management, this is the way to do it. It's nothing new. You must be committed. You must have some kind of policy or directive to do it, and then start to do the planning, okay, and then provide organization supports, and then you operate the system, and then you start to look into your performance. You know, does it achieve the target or not? And then all the input you go back to the management to review, and then keep improving. So this is an example of a typical cycle, okay, of energy management system. Okay, if you want to start your energy management system journey, okay, to based on the ISO 2001 standard. Okay, these are the key elements which I elaborate further after this. All right. Okay, this is the top one involve the top management, okay, and the bottom one involve the day-to-day operation. All right. And then let's start. Okay, first step, what we need to do. The first step, okay, the planning. Okay, after we have committed with the policy, with the directive, with the commitment, okay, with the team being developed, the first step is start to look in your energy consumption. Understand your own consumption trend from the bill, only from the bill, no measurement. Example here, understand your trend. Year to year, is there any consistent pattern? Where is the highest, where is the lowest, you know? So what caused all this? You can anticipate the following months and all that. Understand your consumption trend. And then you'll be surprised, you know, this example, for the same data, okay, this is the monthly trend consumption. A simple another trend consumption, I will call it analyzed trend here. This particular company, they have implemented some projects, but they cannot see so much on the bill. Okay, but when they have another analysis, the project implemented in 2 stages, they can even see, you know, from the trend, only from the bill analysis. They call it analyzed consumption trend. Okay, it's very unique. Only from the bill, you can easily see your performance. Not from the normal monthly trend, but from the different kind of analysis, but still using the same data. At the same time, you must always, okay, observe and record, you know, your findings and all that every monthly basis. So this is monthly basis. You start to record. This is how you can understand your consumption. Look here, so every month they put some kind of indication, what caused this, what caused this. So they know why they increase. Is it because they're wasting or else? Okay, example, step number 1. Okay, and then from here, from the bill also, you can convert your energy use into your CO2 emission amount. Okay, for Malaysia, for Peninsular Malaysia, if you can take 0.6 kilogram per kilowatt hour, is good enough as the very rough estimation. Step 2, okay, determine where your energy being used. Okay, where's the largest user? Okay, because why? Because when you know where your energy being used, the largest one, you can establish where you need to focus when it comes to the initiative, where you need to invest. For example, it's typical commercial building, lighting is less than 20%. So if you put so much effort, investment on lighting, yes, you can save energy, but impact will be lesser because the biggest user is at the cooling system, covering the chiller, you know, ASHRAE and all the fans as well, part of the cooling and mechanical ventilation system. All right, this example of shopping complex, okay, 18 hours operation. Here, the largest user is chiller, cooling system, chiller, and ASHRAE. Okay, and then step number 3, after you identify this one, okay, look at who are the people running this equipment. Okay, who are they? Who are the manager? Who is the manager? Who are the engineers? Who are the operators? Who are the maintenance personnel? Because these people require some kind of training so that they know the impact of the so-called some practices they're supposed to avoid to make sure that equipment are efficient. Okay, operate in terms of operation and maintenance part. Okay, and this example of some training you can have a look later. Okay, because my point here, every level of personnel, they have to undergo certain degree level of training, different training. Okay, if you just focus on the technical personnel, okay, but the top management not aware about their role, you know, it's difficult. Okay, if the technical personnel have put the system in place, efficient system, but the operational personnel doesn't know, you know, the impact, they will continue as BAU operations. Okay, they have to go some kind of basic training. Step number 4, this is important. Okay, establish your indicator. How to measure your performance? Okay, but establish the proper indicator. Okay, in the form of, there are many ways. Okay, there are a few ways. first establish your indicator or MPI, okay, in the form of energy consumptions, okay, or you can in the form of index. But once you confirm your indicator, you can establish your baseline value. The baseline value is the value that you want to refer after you do some improvement. Okay, but bear in mind, okay, if you take kilowatt hour, the consumption as your baseline indicator, okay, you must understand what operating condition you establish the baseline. Otherwise, you may not be able to see your performance. And if you use index, okay, you must be confirmed. The index must be fully confirmed. For example, in factory, for example, not all cases, the increased production, right? Your energy will be up. Okay, similar to even for hotels, not all cases. It's more occupants, will be more energy being used. Not all cases. Okay, sometimes even the less occupants, okay, but energy is still the same. All right, that's what this is the step number 4. Okay, establish your indicator and baseline. I share some example here. This is some example of baseline for your equipment. Okay, chiller. If you know what's your indicator and you know your reference point, your baseline here. So if you look at your chiller, example here, you know where you are and what you need to do, whether it's worth it to keep running it or not, because it may not, be able to give you problem for the operation, but you're using lost so much energy here. Okay, and then motors, for example, okay, if you buy motors, okay, this is an indicator. Okay, motor you buy all the times, right? Okay, that's why whenever you buy motors, you have to consider the difference between efficient one and inefficient one. It may cost you a few thousand now, all right, but it may cost you hundreds of thousands over the next 25 years or 15 years because motor lasted quite long. Okay, example of indicator for motors. And similar to lighting, common. Okay, so we have a very good standard EnMs 125 I mentioned earlier. Okay, in this, all right, motors and also even lightings. You know where to refer. Okay, in terms of lux level. Okay, in terms of area, different area, it requires some level of lux level or brightness level or some kind of power density for every area. Okay, we have a standard. Go and refer. Okay, and this is an example. This is the indicator. The next one, we look into the baseline. The common practice is taking the bill, okay, energy bill from the TNB bill, for example. If you look here, baseline, okay, from companies at 22 sites, similar operations. Can you look here? From here, you can see, okay, for 4 years, they can see the reduction. Provided, you know these are running at the operating condition. For example, here, in this case, you can see the performance from the effort to save energy from the even yearly bill, keep reducing. Okay. The second way to establish the baseline is by having this kind of, easiest one, either one. You put submeter. You have the data before and after. That's how you establish your baseline, by having the meter, and then we take the meter before the projects or before the system implementation, and then you take data after the project implementations, okay, or the system implementation. You can see your result straight away. Okay. The third one, this is a little bit complicated, but this can be done provided you have some knowledge or your personnel has undergone some training. Okay, this is how they establish. If you look here, this example here, this factory, okay, this building, they have done a lot, but they cannot see the reduction from the bill monthly because almost the same. But if you do proper baseline through some statistical analysis, the orange color is somehow the baseline value. Okay, how much is supposed to use energy in that particular month. So in this case, they are good, even though the trend of the monthly consumption is not going down, quite flat. Okay, this is one way you establish your baseline and how you can check your performance. And the step number 5, okay, this is where you need technical personnel. This is the technical job. Okay, prior to this, all these non-technical matters. Okay, you just need to refer. Okay, to refer, and then this is purely technical job where you need to identify where you can save. Often require technical assessment. It's either you go direct to the equipment, okay, by your internal personnel, or you need to get some expert. Okay, this one we can give you some kind of idea how you can save in that particular equipment. Focus on the one that I identified earlier. Okay, the one that the largest user of energy in your organizations. Okay, or secondly, you can go just walk through. Normally give you some idea here and there. Maybe you can save low and no cost measure. Okay, because based on experience done by your experienced internal personnel, and finally you can conduct energy audit. Okay, this is very technical study that it often require external parties. Okay, this is normally for big investment. This example of after you conducted the technical assessment, you come up with this kind of potential. This is an example from my school members. Okay, look here, for every equipment, they can identify the potential of saving. For every single equipment, this can only be done by the technical studies, okay, by your technical personnel. Example here, how much they can save, how much in terms of kilowatt hour, and also how much in terms of what. This will be your potential savings for every equipment, and you can get the total here. And in Malaysia, government has introduced the grant. If you are a large user, okay, you can get this grant. You go to SEDA website, grant provided for commercial sector and industrial sector. Government give you grant to conduct energy audit. Okay, it's about maximum 60,000 for commercial building and or up to 100,000 for industrial facility. Okay, but come with the condition, you must commit something. It's no free money here. That's why to get more details, you can go to the SEDA website. Okay, and then now, okay, this is what some people ask me. Okay, so if you do energy management, even this session expected to do this. Okay, somehow where to save energy. I can guarantee you. Okay, I can guarantee you, your technical personnel, either being given training or throughout the experience, they know where to save. Okay, they can help you utilize your technical personnel. Okay, or example here for aircon system. Quite simple. Look into how you operate a chiller, your aircon system unit, and look into your maintenance, how you do maintenance. Okay, and then how, if you air condition area, how to reduce the heat gains. Okay, from coming to the air condition area. Okay, more heat, more energy. All right, and then this is example how much you can save from every equipment of the we're talking about here centralized aircon system, from pumps, okay, chiller, AHU, and cooling towers. It's a lot. For typical commercial building, we're talking about 50-60% of energy go to the aircon system. Okay, this is a lot. Okay, and then motors. This is all factory, all building has motors. Okay, that's why when you buy motors, these are the area you have to look at. First, how you operate the motors. Look at the sizing. Is it oversized? And then consider energy efficient motors, because energy efficient motor, if you look at the graph here, all right, it's different in terms of the performance. Okay, you can refer to the IE1 or up to IE4, the most efficient one. Okay, and then after that, you have to look into potential of putting up the variable speed drive. Okay, where the motor has a variable load, you can apply variable speed drive. I can guarantee you this one, your technical personnel should be able to help you. Okay, get them to help you. And then this is example of what's the difference between motors, efficient motor and normal motor when it comes to the cost. Look here. The bigger the size of the motor, okay, the bigger efficiency, the bigger the energy cost being used for each motor. This gives some idea on how much impact on motor, because motors is almost everywhere. Okay. The lighting, I think all of you, I guess, know how to save energy in lighting. Why? But why still not being done? Okay. Switch off, control, sensor, timer. All right. Now look at the standard, delamping. If the lighting is too much, okay, utilizing the daylighting potential, go for more efficient technologies, go the low loss ballast, and also look into the luminaire, okay, the fitting, okay. And the example here, in Malaysia by my school member, okay, just by from turning off this 1 unit of chiller, they save 1.2 million a year. But how do I identify this? How did they identify this? From technical study. As a part of the system, they conduct the technical study. Just by switching off 1 unit of chiller here, they save 1.2 million. Okay, here. Okay. And then more example here, shopping complex, okay. Okay, projected saving almost 1 million. They can save up to 1.5. Why? Because they keep improving, because they got a system, keep monitoring the performance, they keep improving. Okay, and then even we have a commercial building. Commercial building, all right, here, okay. Commercial building, all right, here, office building here, in government building, proven 17% reduction in the Ministry of Finance building. Okay, been proven. It's proven. Okay, if you're talking about project, but it's one required investment. Okay, and then therefore, step number 6, after you know where you can save energy, identify the potential, set your targets. Okay, how much you want to achieve from low cost measure, okay, high cost measure, and bear in mind target must be comprehensive, not just the how to save energy cost. Also targets on the awareness, okay, on the communication, okay, awareness on the different target groups, communication for internal and external personnel, means that your service, your supplier, all right, your internal personnel, and also training for the personnel, especially the one that related to the one that using the one equipment that use energy the most. Okay, and all this must be in the numerical values. Okay, and this example of targets, you look here, this is from real case study. Okay, they have the baseline, proper baseline, and they know how much they want to achieve every year, and all this they achieve more. And they do it every single year. This is how they set the target here. So in this case, why they achieve more? Because not only the saving from the equipment, they change to the one from the saving project, also because of the support measure. People more aware, okay, people more conscious about energy use, so that they started to contribute to getting more result, better result. So this is this is the planning part. Okay, so if you have a proper planning, you should have all this. Okay, you know, you understand your trend, you know where energy being used, establish proper indicator and baseline. Okay, you have the measure how to improve, you set the targets, and you prepare the action plan. And all this must be well communicated and agreed, you know, with all the personnel. Step number 7, implement that. Okay, look into your operation maintenance control, how you do it. Okay, and then when you design a project, do retrofitting project, consider energy element in that, not just, you know, meeting the user requirement. Okay, and then when you purchase, you must consider energy efficient equipment as well, or energy efficient solution as well, all based on the action plan. We are here now, operation. Okay, when it comes to the operation and maintenance control, this will give you some example here. Okay, before they have the system, they have this kind of forms. Before they have the system, they just have this data recording, data collection, night, morning, afternoon. But when they have the system in place, they start to put every data, they have the reference point. Whenever they look into the data, they collect, they know this will be within this range. Okay, and then, you know, by having this reference point, okay, they can know whether they are, whenever they collect data, they know they are good or not. If they go beyond that, they can start to do something, not just collecting data. This is being done every day by your personnel. Okay, they are doing this. Okay, how to get this reference? This is where go back to the technical spec of the equipment, standard or best practices. It's nothing new. There are plenty out there. Okay, this example of how do the operational and maintenance planning and control. And you do the design. Okay, establish the criteria, because this is where you know you can do some improvement. Yeah, when it involves some technical change or additional technical stuff. Okay, refurbishment, you know, improve your facility, equipment, and all that. So consider energy efficiency criteria for that. Okay, not just the purely meeting. Sometimes you have to challenge the user. Okay, so that you can offer something that, you know, meet their requirement, and also same time you are efficient. So this is ongoing. Yeah, you keep expanding your facility, you keep changing your equipment and all that. You must consider that. You start to look into the consider life cycle energy impact of the design itself, not just the initial stage. Okay, and then after that, do the procurement. Okay, because you do procurement all the time, you change equipment all the time. Okay, that's why you have to establish the criteria, so that every procurement you must, when it involve energy, the one that involve energy consumption, you must look into the performance, energy performance. Okay, look into more life cycle costing, not just the purchase price. Yeah, purchase price, you know, upfront cost. You know, you may save 10,000 ringgit now. Okay, but you may have to pay 100,000 ringgit for the coming, you know, years of the equipment lifetime. Okay, this is ongoing business activities. Okay, so you have to consider the life cycle impact of the every good or services that you are sourcing. And then during procurement, please consider this. Government has provided it's quite attractive, you know, tax exemptions or fiscal incentive for green technology that covering energy efficiency. You look here, okay, they got tax incentive for green projects, tax incentive for green technology services, and tax incentive for green purchase of green products. Okay, go to MIDA website, you can get this. It's quite. This will bring down your investment cost. For example, if you import the products, you can get tax exemption, import tax exemption. So this is another incentive by the government, okay? Through if you do the energy efficiency projects, you know, if you actually when it involve capex. Go to MIDA website for more details. And then when you want to fund your projects, okay, this is common. You use your own fund. If you don't have your own fund, that doesn't mean it stopped. No. Consider external funding. This is not common in Malaysia, but quite common in US, even in China now, even in other countries. Okay, you can go for a loan because energy efficiency project often give you very low risk of technical risk. You can use some grants, okay? And then you can even opt for the energy performance contracting or EPC with the performance guarantee model. Okay, where you put up the loan, you get the third party to do the project for you, and they guarantee the result. Okay, you can pay your loan from the saving, and also if the saving lesser, the third party or ESCO can pay you that difference. Okay, and then you can go for even external funding. Okay, you can go for EPC, shared saving model, okay, or you can go for leasing. So it means that if you don't even have the budget, okay, you can still move on because any saving project sometimes, most of the time, are proven. Okay, this is common in other countries, not in Malaysia yet, but I hope one day it become a common things in Malaysia. When even I know some company in US, okay, other country, they have the budget, but they opted to go for a loan because they know they can get the savings. Okay, they also can pay the loan, and same time they can get some profit because for them they look at it. They say retrofitting of their econ system can become revenue making activities, not purely maintenance activities. Okay, and then this is quite new, launched by the government in March 2022. Okay, they got a special low carbon transition facility fund for the SMEs. Okay, maximum 10 million. Very interesting, 5% rate only, interest rate up to 10 years. Okay, this is new. Okay, I think the one that implementing this one is the CGC, Credit Guarantee Corporation. You can have a look. Okay, you can go to CGC website. You can have a look. Just contact that. All right. The amount of fund allocated by the Bank Negara is 2 billion. Okay, 2 billion. All right, and then another one, funding by MDV, launched in 2017. Okay, they got subsidized interest. Okay, I was told now the interest is about 8%, so subsidized, become 7% roughly. So we go to MDV. It's an option now. Please consider. Okay, they got all the criteria to eligible up to 10 years. Okay, minimum 1 million. Okay, up to 85% and all that. Okay, there are some funding available in the market in Malaysia, and more funding I can see can come in the future. And this example, where the projects, in Malaysia, in the commercial building sector, this is where done by ESCO, any service company, means that they adopted the EPC model. Okay, means that they invested in these facilities. Okay, this is investment funding, the investment amount, and this is the savings. From here, you can know the payback period already. Okay, these all privately funded projects, at the basically commercial building in Malaysia, okay, by one of the MISCO members. If you look here, there are options of funding, even though when you have no budget, okay, for that internally. And then the step number 8, all right, once you have implemented all these measures, all right, you need to measure your performance. What you need to do, check your operations, your operation controls of your equipment. Check your performance against your indicator, check the trends, check the cost, check the system. Is everyone doing what they're supposed to do? And finally, check against your action plan. We are here now, performance evaluation. This is example of how effective an EnM system, okay, can indicate your energy performance improvement. Okay, so example here, this company from real case study. This company invested is about 7 million all in 7 years, in 5 years for energy efficiency projects. Okay, even solar project as well. Okay, but if you look from the trend of the bill, no reduction. But by having what they did, okay, they want to see the performance. So what they did, they do a proper analysis. They come up with this kind of method of monitoring. So they establish the baseline and they compare against the actual consumption here. How they do it? They establish a proper energy baseline indicator, and they confirm the energy consumption variable, and they can monitor the performance. So in this case, they are good. On top of that, they also can do further analysis, okay, by having the cumulative savings. This chart basically a cumulative saving. They can quantify the saving over the years by not having even a meter to quantify the savings. This is an example of when you have proper system, you not only get your energy improvement, but you also can make your result, okay, visible. Your performance can be monitored visibly. All right, so that they can use this, all right, okay, bring all this input to the management review, and they can convert whatever you save, okay, into the CO2 emission they can avoid. All right, and then finally, step number 9. This is again all the input from the performance evaluation you bring to the top management. Top management need to be always convinced so that they keep supporting the initiative. You keep supporting the system. Look into that, how to improve. If the result achieved, how to get better. Okay, you need to review anything here. You need to review the baseline or indicator. You need to set new targets and all that. So all this, is a part of a typical management cycle. Bring back to the management, present to them the result, and then you can see, okay, what next for the company. Okay, this is typical. Once you reach this cycle, immediately you complete your PDCA cycle. But don't forget, energy management is not a project. It's lifetime. Okay, it's ongoing. Okay, so even though your first time you PDCA cycle completed, but these are ongoing activities. Training must be ongoing. Keep communicating with the personnel. You must keep control your operations. Procurement, you must look into energy element. Okay, when you design, you have to consider energy efficiency. You have to look, keep updating your action plan, and then you have to always, evaluate your performance. Okay. So finally, again, okay, I repeat the key takeaway from what I started earlier. All right, top management commitment. For you to be able to be successful in energy management, first of all, you must have the top management commitment. And it must be, again, holistic, systematic, and sustainable. Okay, and then also measurable and visible. So in this video, I try to share with you the most simple, the most simplified, way, But of course, you cannot become an expert by having this session. Okay, but this is the way we're supposed to do. Holistic, okay, systematic and sustainable. Okay, if you try to do it based on the normal project approach, yes, you can get some saving again, but can you sustain that? Can you improve with that? Okay, with that, okay. So this is the key takeaway again. Top management commitment. It must be holistic, okay, and then must be systematic. You refer to certain standard or guidelines. They must be sustainable, and then at the end of the day, the result must be measurable and also visible to be seen by everyone. So these are the key takeaway, key component or key element for a successful energy management in any organization. Okay, so what next for you? Next for you, okay, if you go ahead or get a commitment from the top, and then start the planning step. You start the planning step. And start, you can use the document that's shared by, in this program, document your activation plan in the toolkit, okay? And then after that, complete the planning for energy, and then carry out your implementation, and then finally showcase your result, okay? Convert it into, of course, RM and also CO2. How much reduce kilowatt hour, okay, can help you to avoid the CO2 emission or GHG emission to the environment. That can help you to achieve your sustainability goals. Okay, with that, thank you very much. All right. Okay, so I hope the video has enlightened you. All right, and then have any query, you can tag into the comment, and also you can send a comment. All right, in the message. Okay, I put into the description here. Okay, again, until we come to the next video. All right.